अच्छा ठीक है।
तो ये है जाता होटल वहीं पे।
कहाँ पे है?
बोल गया।
अच्छा Hello. Is it audible? नहीं। Digvijay ji, is it audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Venkatesh sir, should we begin or we should wait for?
3 minutes, sir.
Okay, it's all right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, sir.
Hello.
दिग्विजय जी,
सर
मनोज सर ज्वाइन किए क्या?
अभी नहीं सर दिख रहा है मनोज सर. एक मिनट सर, लेट मी चेक.
दिग्विजय सिंह, मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
सर ऑडिबल. यू आर ऑडिबल सर. प्रफुल्ल सर.
राघवेंद्र सर तो है ना?
राघवेंद्र सर.
ओके. और प्रोफेसर उदय शंकर भी है. मनोज सर नहीं दिखाई दे रहे हैं. आई जस्ट कॉल हिम.
श्रीवास्तव सर.
हाँ.
Could we start?
I'm waiting for Manoj sir calling him. Has he joined?
मनोज सर, लेट मी चेक.
मुझे तो दिखाई नहीं दे रहे थे.
नहीं सर.
Hello. Yes sir. Good morning sir. You may join sir. The Raghvendra sir and the. हाँ सर.
जी मुझे लेकिन पहले ही करवा दीजिएगा, मुझे छोटे निकलना होगा 12 बजे.
अच्छा ठीक है सर. ठीक है सर.
छोटा कर देना जैसे भी होगा. अगर 11:40-50 पे भी दे देंगे तो 10 मिनट हो जाएगा.
अच्छा ठीक है सर. ठीक सर. ओके सर.
भेजिए ना गूगल मीट.
हाँ गूगल मीट है सर. आपके पास लिंक है. आपके व्हाट्सएप पे भी लिंक है.
बस मैं 1 मिनट में आ जाऊँगा.
ठीक.
Should we wait or start sir?
ही इज ज्वाइनिंग ना. लेकिन उनका वो है, कहीं कह रहे हैं कि उनके 12:20 पे मीटिंग है, तो ही वांट्स टू जल्दी करने का। तो शुड वी चेंज, पहले वो कर दे उनको, फिर उदय शंकर सर पूछ ले। उदय शंकर सर, उदय सर, हेलो, प्रोफेसर उदय शंकर, उदय सर।
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. There's a request from Professor Manoj Sinha. He has certain meeting at 12:30, so he is interested that he should start early. So can we
Fine,
change?
fine. No problem, sir. No problem.
Okay. So after welcome, you can ask for Manoj Sinha, sir. ठीक है. Good
Okay,
morning. Good morning, Raghavan sir. Good morning, sir.
Ali, good morning. Srivastava ji, Professor Srivastava, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Uday, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you. How are you, sir?
Yeah.
Good morning,
Professor
sir.
Srivastava,
Namaste.
namaste.
Good morning,
Namaste,
sir.
namaste.
Happy
Namaskar,
to see
namaskar.
all stalwarts.
Sir. Thank you very much, Raghavendra, sir.
Manoj sir, we have just made a change as per your request. After welcome, you will deliver and then the Uday sir. So you will get the time sufficient. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, should I start, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning to everybody. I welcome all the esteemed guests, Honorable Vice Chancellor, faculty members, deans of different schools, head of different departments, research scholars, student participants in this virtual colloquium on the theme Creativity, Innovation and Collaboration. The colloquium is organized by the institution's Innovation Council, Central University of South Bihar, in collaboration with Internal Quality Assurance Cell and the School of Law and Governance, Central University of South Bihar. And basic purpose is to celebrate the World Creativity and Innovation Day. The United Nations has designated April 21st to be celebrated as World Creativity and Innovation Day in order to raise awareness about the crucial role of creativity and innovation in different aspects of human development. It has decided the theme for the year 2022, that is creativity, innovation and development.
1 o'clock.
It was celebrated to encourage people to use creativity in problem solving of all issues related to achieving the sustainable development last year. And the theme for this year is creativity, innovation and collaboration. We know that the concept of creativity is built on the interplay between human creativity and idea on the one hand, and the intellectual property, knowledge, and technology on the other hand. Essentially, it is the knowledge-based economic activity upon which the creative industries are based. Now, the creativity, innovation, and collaboration may provide a momentum for the economic growth and job creation after this post-pandemic in the post-pandemic time. It can provide solutions to most of the problems the humanity is facing, including the problem of poverty eradication, the elimination of hunger, the climate change, and all. And in this respect, the issue is very much relevant. And we are fortunate to have eminent speakers in this colloquium who will share their thoughts and will enlighten us in this colloquium. Now, I request Professor Venkatesh Singh, Coordinator of Internal Quality Assurance Cell and the President of Institutional Innovation Council, Central University of South Bihar, to kindly propose formal welcome address. Professor Venkatesh Singh, sir. Over to you, sir.
From another program. That program is still going on. So, this is a brief information. Namaste and greeting and very good morning with a very warm, pleasant and grand welcome to all the dignitaries and virtually connected all the participants in today's colloquium. It gives me a great honor and immense pleasure to welcome our patron of this function, none other than our very dynamic and visionary Vice Chancellor of Central University of South Bihar, Professor Kian Singh sir, in his absence, to this colloquium on creativity, innovation, and collaboration on behalf of IQAC and behalf of IIC and on my own behalf. This colloquium program is organized by the Institution Innovation Council of Central University of South Bihar, Gaya, and School of Law and Governance on the occasion of World Creativity and Innovation Day. The United Nations designated 21st April as World Creativity and Innovation to raise the awareness about the role of the creativity and innovation in all aspects of human development. The importance of any event increases with the dignified presence of key dignitaries and speaker attending it. Due to whose knowledge there is a huge increment in the knowledge stack of the participant present in the program. Today, such speakers are enhancing the beauty of the program by registering their presence in this program. We welcome today's esteemed guest and speaker, Sri G.R. Raghavendran, Joint Secretary, Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice, Government of India. I also welcome Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha ji, Director, Indian Law Institute, New Delhi, and Professor Uday Shankar ji, Registrar, Hidayatullah National Law University, Raipur. Sir, I welcome you all from bottom of my heart on behalf of IQAC, IIC, Central University of South Bihar, Gaya, and on my own behalf. All will shed light on the today's subject of the colloquium. I can see many faces of deans and heads of various schools and departments of our university are also present in this program. I personally feel proud and privileged to welcome all of you, sir. I also welcome our finance officer, Professor Brijesh Kumar ji, Dean, School of Commerce, Central University of South Bihar, Gaya, for his warm presence. I strongly believe that all of you will certainly get benefited, and at the end of program, at least you will have some messages to take. Time to time, on various issues, IQAC, IIC, in collaboration with Department of Law and Governance, has also organized events, and it will be continued. I would like to welcome and congratulate our contact personals of this program, Dr. Digvijay ji and Dr. Praful ji, for their continuous help and support in organizing such program. I am immensely thankful to Professor Sanjay Prakash Srivastava ji, Dean, School of Law and Governance, for organizing and coordinating such fruitful events. I need to mention my deepest sense of last but not the least, once again, I welcome to each one of the participants. Without them, there is no meaning of such program. Dear participants, we value you and your time. At the end, I would like to thank everyone present, and I wish grand success of this program. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your formal welcome address. We are sure that the creative and innovative practices will make our life comfortable and easy. And what we are lacking presently is the collaboration between academia and industry. To promote this collaboration between academia and industry, the Ministry of Education has launched the program that is Institution Innovation Council, and the purpose of this council to make awareness about the creativity and innovation. It is in this backdrop, the Institution Innovation Council, Central University of South Bihar, is organizing this program, and now I invite Dr. Praful Kumar, Head of the Department Geology and member of Institution Innovation Council, Central University of South Bihar, to tell us about the program and also Institution Innovation Council I invite Dr. Praful Kumar Singh, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Digvijay Singh, and very warm welcome to all the today's dignitaries and esteemed guests and speakers. I would like to thank Professor Venkatesh Singh, chairman of both the activities in our university, IIC and IQAC. And being I am a part of this IIC committee, I would like to welcome all of you. And as per the IIC and IQAC of our university, it is a mandate of Ministry of Education. Only we have to conduct the many activities related to the for the development or making some benchmark activities for the institute level, and that could be having the mapping with the IIC at national level. So in our university, we are conducting many outreach programs which can, the purpose of these programs are to just motivate, nurture the student or young minds to participate national or international level various activities which can be outreach program related to the local level. They are doing the community level outreach programs and many other programs, creative activities we are organizing time to time. I would like to thank Professor Srivastava also to organize such an important topic, because the title of this colloquium itself tells us lots of information about creativity is one of the important aspects. If you have the good creativity, it means you have to think something on innovative aspect, and then next aspect is the collaboration. So both the three terms are interrelated to each other, and they are very important to develop some collaborative activities for students, as well as to nurture the students what we can do with this direction. So university is providing the primary platform to the students in terms of conducting the outreach program, industrial visit, and many other activities related to this. So I am very thankful to the organizers, particularly the Department of Law, to organize this in the collaborative manner. Particularly, I am very thankful to Professor Sanjay Srivastava and Dr. Digvijay Singh for organizing this program. And once again, thank you to all the speakers for their presence. Thanks. Now, Digvijay Singh, mic to you. Over to you.
Now, we know that at present, India is at the 46th rank of this Global Innovation Index. That rank was 86 in 2018. But many initiatives have been taken by the government of India, and gradually our innovation index is improving. And right now in 2020-22, we are at the 42nd rank of this global index ranking amongst the 132 countries. That is very much appreciable that we are gradually improving. Now, in this background, I invite first speaker of this colloquium, Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha sir, who is Director of National Law, Indian Law Institute, New Delhi.
Thank you,
Professor at West Bengal National Law University.
Thank you very much, Dr. So thank you very much, and I'm thankful to the Professor Sanjay Prakash Srivastava ji and for organizing this wonderful initiative on behalf of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell and the School of Law and Governance. Respected Professor Venkatesh Singh, Coordinator IQC and President IEC's USB, Professor Praful Kumar Singh ji, Member Internal IICS USB, and Professor Sanjay Pratap Srivastava, Professor Digvijay, and colleagues like Professor Uday and Dr. Raghavendra Ramarao. It's a great pleasure, and there are a lot of things I came to know through the Digvijay, like the indexing also, that our index has gone to 46. And I remember when our ranking is improved, that credit goes to the one person, that is Raghavendra ji. Like, I am involved in number of exercise, particularly ease of doing business. I remember that we had a meeting in 2015 and how it has been brought down from 130 to the 60, 70. So that when you have a good person sitting in a chair who has a deep interest in the ranking and other things, otherwise we stay. So we stay in the same place in the for the development index, we have not improved, but we have improved in the business. Like a lot of places, there is a great improvement. Also, thanks to Dr. Digvijay, just you have mentioned about the today is the day is celebrated by the United Nations on April 22. I think tomorrow will be the day. So that's a lot of information. When you participate in seminars and conferences, you believe that you know many things, but you come to know that you know little, and you learn from the others like Venkatesh ji, Professor Praful ji, you and Sanjay Bhai also there. What I promised, like in a limited time, to discuss about the pandemic and constructive industry. How this pandemic has prepared us all of a sudden, which we never thought in the end of the November when we started hearing that things are going wrong in China. We never prepared ourselves. We thought, how virus will travel all the way from China to India. So we are more or less very relaxed. But things started deteriorating in the January and February when the first case was reported in January. And then gradually by March, it started picking up. Comparatively, it was less compared to the second phase. First phase was like, somewhere lockdown, and then cases were little bit later. It posed a lot of challenges. The first was the immediate challenge was the health issue. How to regulate, because you have been locked down. You are not allowed to meet doctor. You are not necessary. You don't do anything. So it has affected your entire daily life. The pandemic, the lockdown, which we were never prepared, that we only witnessed sometime in the curfew situation where you have a limited access of outside of your home. So, but this was the curfew which imposed on the health ground was unthinkable, and we were not prepared. We all of a sudden how to continue to live, survive for number of the periods. The first thing we said that e-commerce, some way a trade which was already peaking, but that has got its maximum mileage during this pandemic. That like e-commerce trade, where food, everything, whatever you want, you get access through that. The second, that e-commerce aspect, which has now it's become a real. It's like a reality, and there are a lot of markets, a lot of companies which are operating, and everyone is going online for their businesses, for the trade, for every aspect. So that is that has not helped the only young person. It also person who are living alone, senior citizen. Nobody is there to take care. So you just simply dial, or you just simply pay everything. You can make a payment online. You can make the payment on the delivery of your home. So industry, that in that particular creativity in the industry, particularly taking care of your personal needs, the first. Then second, of course, the pleasure, material pleasure is there, that whatever shirt you want to wear, whatever the good. The first challenge was about the food, the survival. That was addressed effectively by in both situations, and now it's become a new norm, what we started. The second, in pandemic, you felt sick. You don't know where to go to the medicine. You call the online medicines facilities, and how to consult the doctor. If you remember, the first and second time we have number of app-based doctors, or online consultation of doctor sitting in the Bangalore, doctor sitting in the Delhi. You have a choice. You and then prescription, everything online you are doing. So first time we never ever thought in our life that online consultation of the health facilities will be available, and that has taken care of our health issues, particularly in the first phase and second phase, and even in today we are crossing through the fourth phase. Now we are entering in the fourth phase, which Delhi started witnessing cases are started rising, though it's in a very mild form. But we are preparing ourselves. Our needs are addressed. We are not sure how long it will continue and when lockdown will be declared by the government. But there is a fear is there. So health sector. So first is the our needs which has been fulfilled by the e-trade. Second, health sector also there. The third challenge which affected all of us. Today we are here. So Venkatesh sir, Sanjay sir, Digvijay sir, we all started contemplating what about the class? How we'll do the class? No idea about Zoom, no idea about the Google Meet, no idea about the WebEx, no idea. We never experimented. We heard, and government was every time online class karna hai. Then UGC used to come. No, online will not be correct in 2018. No, it's not possible. We'll give you permission. Without permission, you can't run a distance education. Distance education cell has been created. So a lot of UGC also experimenting and not sure. All of a sudden UGC and everybody Oh, no, online, you go online. And then online, like, where you have infrastructure, you have wherewithal, you have good internet connectivity, whether the students, so everyone is required a good connectivity. So that massive challenges we faced, particularly in the 2020, where connecting education to the doorsteps of the students, not connecting to the university. So it's like, no, the complete circle is like, you start speaking and you can hear, like, the way we are communicating, effective communication. So effective communication was a big challenge for a lot of university. Whatever we say on the television and everything, now we are connected, but still we face number of problem in our institute also, where a student sits in a far away place in the northeastern states, and they say, I could not hear anything, can you provide me email through the material class lectures or something, or shared by the students. So there, but anyway, we improved, we prepared ourselves. Almost all the central university, around 1000 universities we have in India, and then we started working on the online education through it's become a new norm, when we use Google Meet, Microsoft WebEx, and other platforms. I had never, sometimes I remember in 2017 and 18, somebody told me, you should organize some webinar. I could not understand what webinar means. Like, I was not sure. Well, I said, हाँ sir, करेंगे, जरूर करेंगे, webinar करेंगे. फिर आके घर में सोचे, webinar क्या है, क्या बोल रहे हैं sir? कुछ पता ही नहीं चल रहा है webinar. So, but I never tried after that. But 2019, I learned the meaning of webinar. I learned how to connect on the online, and I remember very much on the first time when one of friend, he started in Ahmedabad. एंड ही सेड कि सर ऑनलाइन आना होगा. हम बोले कि ऑनलाइन आएंगे तो, लेकिन हमें तो कंप्यूटर में भी पता नहीं कि कैसे कर पाए, कैसे लिंक करना है, कहाँ डाउनलोड करना है, जूम ऐप है कि नहीं, वो क्या क्या ऐप भी बोला. मैं बोला कि क्या ऐप, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. तो फिर देन आई आस्क्ड माय सन कि बोला कि ये सर बेटर टेक्नोलॉजी इज टू बी सरेंडर टू द यंगर जनरेशन हु आर वेल एक्यूट. सो आई आस्क्ड हिम कि बेटा ये प्रॉब्लम है, क्या क्या बोल रहे हैं अंकल से सुनो. देन ही लर्न, बोला हाँ हो जाएगा, डोंट वरी. देन ही डिड कंप्यूटर एवरीथिंग, एंड देन कैमरा भी नहीं था, देन ही फिक्स्ड कैमरा एंड एवरीथिंग. सो आई सेड कि वी आल्सो लर्न, दीज आर द बेसिक, एंड स्टिल वी डिपेंड हेवीली ऑन द यंगर जनरेशन. अभी थोड़ी सी लाइन चले जाए या आवाज नहीं आए तो आई विल बी लॉस्ट. देन आई हैव टू आस्क समबडी फ्रॉम ऑफिस टू फिक्स इट. Internally kuch problem. So there are like even when you connect, there are challenges which has to remain active in the online, and but it's good that we are learning. So education gap has been fulfilled. I believe and that I understand that in creative industry, in the constructive industry, in the education field, it has to be there. It has to be not sidelined, because it's very economical. It brings large number of people, and same time it's very effective. Like the way you have organized the program, you could have also said, you have to fly and you have to come to Gaya and organize. It could have out of three, at least two of us or maybe one would have said, no, I'll not be able to come because of the travel time and other things. So you will give me the honorarium, the same amount. You will pay the honorarium. Like, I'm just joking. But like traveling time and other times all are already reduced. So participation of Raghavendra ji, participation of Uday, participation of Venkatesh sir and me, and all of us interactive is to become a larger platform. It's become a larger platform. So what personally I feel, and I think all of you agree, that this particular system has to remain there, that the way connecting through the net in the constructive industry, if I say in education sector, in academic, for conducting the viva, conducting the seminars and conferences, it has to run because it's economical, quicker, and without any investment. So that is the way we all can be connected, is there. Then even for the third constructive, which belongs to the, I'm not going to talk about the innovation, patent and copyright, which sir will speak about, because sir is authority on that. So Raghavendra ji will speak. So I want to keep that particular subject. But third important industry, if you see the challenges which pandemic has. So the third was education, the court, functioning of the court from the all places it has affected. And how court has also, so we all institution, in one sense, if I say in all institution, they quickly moved from the physical mode to the online mode, having some challenges without any expertise. I can say initially, but in 1 year or 2 years, we have equipped ourselves to overcome any kind of difficulties posed by the pandemic. So pandemic has given something positive, something negative also it has given, particularly in the education season. Of course, there is a Niti Aayog in 2016 when for the innovation purpose, Niti Aayog has created Atal Innovation Mission, to encourage creativity, innovation, and that is taking place. You have Atal ranking also there for the universities there. We have also done. In fact, I suggest law and governance should also become part. We have applied. So many people said, what innovation you are doing? Innovation. I said, mediation is innovation training program where we suggest student train them, you go for the mediation. So lawyer is innovation and that has to become real. So we conduct training program. We conduct the other training program where professional skills are transferred. So it's there are certain we are also doing. It's not only science department is doing the innovation. Law departments are equally doing in the clinical education purpose. Also innovation is introduced. So we can also have ranking, and we got the ranking because we applied and on ranking on this particular. There are in the industry sector, labor sector, there also the economic that the pandemic has affected. They also transformed the trade, business, everything is on the online. It is started taking. Just to conclude, I see that the most important part, which in the innovation and creative, and we all feel proud on that we have developed in the creativity in this difficult time our own vaccine. The first time we have achieved a milestone in the health sector. We have achieved a milestone in the health sector where the government of India is in a position to support, to supply, export the medicines to the developed and developing countries. Many countries we have paracetamol, remdesivir and other medicines, and we are willing to go for the vaccination also. That government is a little bit WHO has restricted. So, but I believe that Covaxin. So first time in a very record time, which is unthinkable, which was unthinkable that India could develop. Many people have thought India could not develop the vaccination, but the serious effort of our Honorable Prime Minister, that we have achieved, that medical creativity, if you have vaccination, that is the big and massive way the vaccination is going on. You sit in the computer, I took the third dose, but I got a message, your period, so I'm waiting when I have to take, I have no idea. So I got a message, you're in 17. So it was unthinkable. You always go, doctor sahab kab lagega. Doctor has no idea. But the system that it sends you message. You have been, at that moment you vaccine is administered, you have been fully vaccinated. You have taken extra dose. Message will come. And then the next, you can download your certificate. Everything is a technology, you see so fast. आपको वहां पर तो हॉस्पिटल में रजिस्ट्रेशन कराने में to get a vaccine you spend more time than getting a certificate and then confirmation that you have been vaccinated. So technology has brought a drastic change in that particular field. I feel a lot of issues are there, and I'm very happy in the able guidance of Professor Venkatesh, Professor Patpulji, Professor Sanjay and Digvijay. You are doing wonderful, and I hope that IQC will continue to discuss this kind of things, and that will help the student, that will help the teachers also, and our association as always is there. Whenever you feel like, we'll be happy to associate with you. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It is always important what to innovate, rather how to innovate. And definitely this pandemic posed us challenges. We faced challenges, and I say that was an opportunity. And in that opportunity period, we have invented many things to make our life convenient. Manoj Sinha sir has rightly pointed out many of the things which are innovated, created during the pandemic, and definitely they have become part of our life. We can't expect that life without these technologies and all. Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening lecture and address. I'm thankful to you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm thankful, Digvijay. So Venkatesh sir, Sanjay sir, or Prafulji, kindly allow me to exit because I have to conduct a viva. So, but I'm thankful that you gave me time, and whatever idea I wanted to share, I shared with you. Thank you,
sir.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Raghav.
Thank you, sir. Now to proceed further, I invite our next esteemed guest, Professor Uday Shankar sir, to share his thoughts on the theme and enlighten us. But before I invite him, I just wanted to introduce to the audience Professor Udayasankar sir. Professor Udayasankar sir is an alumnus of University of Delhi, and right now he is professor and registrar at Hidayatullah National University, Raipur. I can say that Professor Udayasankar is one of the dynamic professor at the present time in the legal profession. What I feel, this is my personal. Professor Udayasankar has many tremendous achievements. He has been guest professor under the Magdalene Schoach Fellowship Award by the Faculty of Law, University of Hamburg. He has been recipient of prestigious fellowship from the Max Planck Institute of Comparative Public Law and International Law, Heidelberg. And he has also developed many courses. A few courses are the course on Introduction of Law on Electricity offered under the scheme of National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, NPTEL, funded by Ministry of Education, Government of India. He has organized Gyan course on energy law and policy and short-term courses on labor law, making India skill India and all. With this, I invite Professor Udayasankar sir for his kind address and delivery, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. I thank you, Professor Digvijay. My heartfelt thanks to the Central University of South Bihar and Professor Srivastava for giving me this opportunity to share the platform virtually with two well-known and accomplished personality in this field, Raghavendra sir and Manoj sir. It's true honor for me to be part of this important colloquium. In fact, I was when Professor Srivastava approached me for participating in this colloquium, I said, sir, this creativity innovation, generally we connect with IP, and how come this whole theme is coming up? And then he sent me a list of themes, and then when I started going through it, I realized that how we have progressed, and made a kind of big jump in engaging in a debate which is serving a kind of mankind. That's what came to my mind. So thanks, sir, for having me for this colloquium. Thank you, Professor Venkatesh and other colleagues from the Central University. In next half an hour or so, I will try to bring in this perspective that though the UN acknowledged the relevance of innovation and creativity in solving many problems which the society confronts as on date, and perhaps it is not designed but incidental that 17 UN recognizes 21st April as an important day where creativity and innovation will have an important role to play, significant role to play. And 2019 pandemic is coming. So look at, the way pandemic has made all of us realize that conventional approach to solve the problem of society may not be sufficient in every situation. And we need to come together, we need to innovate, we need to look into our creative quotient, we need to get a learning from culture that how all this can also solve our problem, and which was also very well articulated by very respected Manoj sir. Now, in this regard, I will try to look at how the whole issue of technology and innovation is being discussed in this country. And it is something which helps us in understanding that we have been somehow doing a pioneer work in identifying technology innovation as an important tool to solve many of our issues. When I look at the literature, I find that in India, the relevance of technology and the role of technology for giving necessary contribution in nation building, for addressing the sufferings of humans, recognized even before independence. 1940, Board of Scientific and Industrial Research was established, wherein a role was envisaged for the state on technological development. Now, when I say role of a state, what I am emphasizing upon, that how decisively it was thought that let taxpayers' money be invested on technological innovation. That's how I look at it. That it is all about all of us collectively getting involved through the state in technological innovation. And because all of us are collectively getting involved through the state, it is very natural that there shall be an expectation that we shall be also collective beneficiaries of such innovation. Because when we see the state is investing, then whatever is an outcome of that investment, that outcome should bring in benefit to all. And that's what is perhaps the changed paradigm where the UN has decided this day to celebrate this. Because earlier, whenever such investments were being seen, it was being seen largely from the context of return on investment, more on a commercial side of it. But this event day makes us to believe that such investment does not have any, or it should not be seen only from the commercial perspective. It is to be seen also from the social perspective. It is to be seen from the perspective of socioeconomic justice. And how I am reading the socioeconomic justice? By strengthening this point, by advocating this point, that an outcome of innovation, the claim over that outcome belongs to everyone. So 1940 was established. 42, CSIR was established, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. And in fact, the Indian National Congress established the National Planning Committee in 1938, wherein a role was envisaged of the scientist in nation building that point of time, where it was said that let there be a kind of conversation between scientist and politician so that they come up with the idea of developmental plan. These developments are very important. Why? Because on these developments you would find a reference of the investment on technology by the state in those 5-year reports of Planning Commission. Because this Planning Commission report of that time, in a way, conveys the roadmap followed by the government, or to be followed by the government. So look at, for example, third 5-year plan. specifically spoke about the gap between the developed world and developing world. And it was said that it is science and technology which will fill that gap. So it was acknowledged that yes, science and technology has an important role in creating an ecosystem which is needed to guarantee basic needs. Because when you talk about developed and developing world, it is not only about volume of trade, it is also about condition of living. That's how we distinguish. It is not only about who has larger share in export, international trade, but also about quality of life in a particular region. And therefore, it has been suggested that there should be adequate investment done in creating the necessary infrastructure. And how it has been planned? Right after independence, you would find that right after independence, the government thoughtfully decided to invest on building infrastructure. And when I say to build infrastructure, I'm certainly aware of the fact that infrastructure cannot be built unless and until it has been adequately supported by technology. So look at power sector, look at telecommunication, look at the way that time it was being planned to have canals in different regions of the country. All this is backed by sort of technology. So on the issue of water, on the issue of telecommunication, on the issue of power, there is a need felt that you need to create an infrastructure which is to be seen as facilities, structures, or services that would facilitate flow of goods and services. And ultimately, when you connect it with the realization of rights, you would find that all this is taking us towards that goal for which the framers have come up with a wonderful document promising not only fundamental rights but also directive principles. Now with this, I'm highlighting that how innovation has been part of the constitutional scheme and policy enunciation right from the beginning. And this day reminds us that it is not only the global call, it is also very much the mandate under our own constitution to understand the role of creativity and innovation in addressing issues which are in a way causing sufferings to human beings. And that's why I'll just connect. Look at the mission of this Creativity and Innovation Day. Mission says to encourage people to use new ideas, make new decisions, and take the steps towards making the world better through creative thinking. And you would agree with me, one way of engaging with creative thinking is create an ecosystem where people would come forward and innovate. And the investment done by the state on science and technology is a good credential to establish the same. So what was globally acknowledged on 21st April 2017 to me appears to be ingrained in the constitutional scheme way back in 1950, And the thread is also connected from the developments which took place prior to 1950. To substantiate the same, I would like to highlight few case laws where look at the way the code has also validated, also affirmed that technology has an important role to play in the fulfillment of rights. And in this regard, I want all of us to recall the famous MC Mehta case, wherein the court gave effect to Bhurelal committee report and instructed the government to fly only CNG run buses in Delhi. Now look, the way the court accepting the role of technology in improving environment. As a law student, we read this case also to establish this point and to communicate this, message to the to student or to in general academia, that the way the court has given legal recognition to a committee report. Apparently, it appears that this is something which has been done on judicial intervention. That when one judgment, the conventional fuel run buses were out from Delhi and clean fuel came into picture. But when you read the judgment carefully, you'd find that the way the court has appreciated the role of technology, and then getting very confirmed that how the technology can play significant role. This is something which should do innovation, isn't it? And this is something which the court indirectly acknowledging that look, if you employ technology, it will not only ensure our less dependency on imported crude oil, it is also to do with fulfillment of our obligation towards rights. Now, next time when you read this, I would, if students are part of this colloquium, I would request them, appeal to them, next time when you read this MC Mehta case on CNG, read it from this perspective, that how court is supporting technology and innovation. It is not only about clean environment. Generally, that case we read it as a clean environment, but it's beyond that. Approving the investment on coming up with an alternative. Balakrishnan case, Balakrishnan versus Union of India, 2009. On the issue of water scarcity, court comes up with an idea to establish a technological mission. Now, what is making me to highlight these cases is just to establish that how overall validation is there on the role of technology to improve rights, strengthen rights. So that's how I'm connecting innovation, development, and rights. Another interesting case. This case relates to nuclear power plant in Kundankulam in Tamil Nadu, wherein a petition was filed alleging that commissioning of the nuclear power plant would be fatal to the people who are living in the vicinity of that plant. In that case, the court categorically says that there's a need to draw a balance between larger public interest and a kind of apprehension on the violation of rights by certain individuals. And in this case, the court has said larger public interest of access to electricity will get addressed if you have a nuclear power plant in the country. So court says that investment done on making nuclear energy as one of the reliable one is to be given prominence. Look again in this case, the court votes in favor of technology and innovation. And for what? For rights. Court categorically says in this case, court says, and if I read it from the judgment, it says we have to strike a balance since the production of nuclear energy is of extreme importance for the economic growth of our country, alleviate poverty, generate employment, etc. While setting up a project of this nature, we have to have an overall view of larger public interest rather than a smaller violation of right to life guaranteed under Article 20. Look, the way the innovation is playing an important role. And in fact, with my limited understanding on IP law, Raghavendra sir is there, I would not dare to charter into that domain. But then the way compulsory licensing has also been introduced in the patent law somewhere reflects that innovation has to be also dedicated for larger interest of people. That's why you have a provision of compulsory licensing. I also connect there that look, the way lawmakers have thought of ensuring that innovation at the end of the day serves the purpose of people at large. Otherwise, we should not have this provision of compulsory licensing in the law. And where all conditions are given. If voluntary it is not possible to grant compulsory licensing, grant involuntary. And what is the rationale of that? That it is for larger public interest. So judicial approach indicates, and in that regard, perhaps law students can think of undertaking this research. What is that research? That how the relaxed rule of locus standi has facilitated the judiciary to engage into this debate and to strengthen the argument, to support the argument on investment by the state on technology. And the fruit of that outcome should be meant for all. Now, towards the conclusion, I would say one thing, that when I look at the mission of Innovation Day, when I look at the goals enshrined in Part 4 of the Indian Constitution, I find a very subtle connect there. To me, the connect is how do we employ resources for fulfillment of that goal? Because resources are needed. Resources are needed to fulfill right to education. Resources are needed to fulfill right to health. Resources are needed for fulfilling right to social security. Resources are needed for fulfilling housing. Resources are needed for fulfilling goal which is given. And this World Creativity and Innovation Day suggests us that resources are to be channelized in such a manner so that the end goal should be the realization of rights. So a sort of nuanced approach is needed that how the investment shall take place on certain areas which would bring larger cushioning to the human life. Because after all, we have limited resources. In limited resources, we'll have to ensure that how it is being channelized for serving the larger interest. And how do we identify larger interest? Larger interest should not be identified by looking at the might of sovereign, that how the might of sovereign nation is going to get established. Larger interest is going to get established that how sufferings of human lives are minimized and eliminated. So I believe this day is true reminder for all of us that how the state, institution, and individual, they need to come together to innovate so that a world with better living is established. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you very much, sir. You have rightly pointed out about the role of this innovation and creativity in nation building. Maximum utilization of resources is the need of the hour. And you have given a new perspective to the law students, particularly that don't look for something new. The mandates has been given in the constitution and has been reiterated in the different judgment by the different courts in this country. Now, I am very much thankful to you, sir, for your insightful deliberation. And proceed further. I now invite to our next speaker, Sri G.R. Raghavendra, Joint Secretary, Department of Justice, Ministry of Law and Justice, Government of India. Who could be a better person to speak on the topic, who is very much devoted to protect that creativity and innovation. When he is focusing on protection of creativity and innovation, in particularly in the name of protection of intellectual property law, that person could be a better person to tell us what is creativity, what is innovation, and what is the importance of that creativity and innovation in the nation building and all. And in this, I must introduce to the participants Sri G.R. Raghavendra. He is very instrumental, particularly in the mission director for the National Mission for Justice Delivery and Legal Reform. And he is driving the policy reforms for improving enforcing contracts parameters under the ease of doing business and particularly e-code projects. India has progressed immensely in the ranking, particularly in the ease of doing business, and definitely credit goes to G.R. Raghavendra sir, under whose direction that work is going on in the ministry. He has been also Joint Secretary of this Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, and he has been the Registrar of Copyright, that is dealing with the protection of creativity and all. With this brief introduction, now I invite Sri G.R. Raghavendra sir for his insightful deliberation and for his enlightening address. Over to you, sir. Raghavendra sir.
Yeah, namaskar. Vande Mataram. Good afternoon to all the distinguished persons, Professor Manoj Sinha, Professor Venkatesh Singh, Professor Uday Shankar, and Professor Sanjay Srivastavaji, and other distinguished persons like Professor Brijesh Kumar and Professor Praful Singh, and all the faculty members of the great University, Central University of South Bihar, and their Institution Innovation Council members, students, faculty, and researchers. And I would like to congratulate Professor Srivastava for choosing this brainstorming session. on World Creativity and Innovation Day on 21st April. I think first time if any university has taken this initiative, that is you with a team of Dr. Dikvijay Singh and Professor Srivastava. Congratulations to you. Of course, Professor Venkatesh Singh and others who are involved in this. So why United Nations always have a day particularly? Recently, a few years back, after Prime Minister Modi came, started his style of governance, United Nations recognized the importance of yoga. Now we have an International Yoga Day. Why do international days are celebrated in United Nations? Because it creates a kind of awareness among the people, and it highlights the important steps taken in addressing the problems and innovating and creating new things in that, and adopting the best practices by each and everyone in policy making, policy implementation. It cannot be always the top-down approach. It can be bottoms-up approach. And creativity, innovation is nothing but a kind of multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research and creativity innovation happens. Very important thing for this is the main theme of this year for the United Nations World Creativity Innovation Day is creativity and innovation in problem solving. This is very, very important because entire my career in the intellectual property rights, the entire intellectual property regime, its growth, development, and future depends on the creativity and innovation in problem solving. Creativity as a process that results in novelty. So those who are patent experts know that it is the inventive step, novelty, and industrial application. These are the three steps. So creativity results in novelty, of course, patent point of view, the original expressions in copyright point of view, which is accepted as a useful, tenable, or satisfying by significant group of people who are going to benefit. All this creativity is going to make our life very simple and easy, and we get entertainment, and creativity generates employment. Creativity promotes economic growth. It contribution to economic activities and contribution to the growth of GDP. The reason why India is one of the fastest growing economies. Couple of days IMF come out with its latest ranking of GDP in the world. In the light of the impact of Ukraine-Soviet war, it has brought down India's possible GDP growth rate from 9 to 8.2. It means still India is the number one top. Anything 8+ growth after world experienced the recession couple of years before COVID pandemic started and COVID pandemic lockdown conditions, still we are growing means it is the beauty of the creative minds and innovative minds doing that. And then innovation, how it is different from the creativity. Innovation basically concerns the process of implementation, relying mainly on organizational communication power, domains of production, adoption, implementation, diffusion of, and also commercialization of creations. My friend Professor Sinha started the talk mentioning about The way Honorable Prime Minister Modi started the innovative processes in India right from the school level. So he started the mission called Atal Innovation Mission. There are more than 9,000 Atal tinkering labs have been set up all over India. School-going kids that are involved in creativity and innovation. And this leads to problem solving. That's what the negotiators, while negotiating the bouquet of agreements for the World Trade Organization, thought about problem solving when they were imposing very stronger TRIPS and obligations on developing countries like India and least developed countries like Bangladesh and other nations, poor countries. We made sure that as an international practice, the language should be open-ended and flexible so that these flexibility in the language of the TRIPS agreement can be used as legal tools in problem solving in India, which helped us to promote our socio-economic cultural environment and also promote creativity and innovation, because once patent granted, once IP is locked, it will not allow further innovation. And that's what even when we insisted that that the TRIPS provisions, and also the flexibilities mentioned in the TRIPS agreement shall not and does not stop the developing countries and least developing countries introducing innovative IPR legislations to help to promote public health and access to medicines and access to knowledge in their countries, as envisaged in the general principles of Article 7, and also the objectives of the Article 7 and objectives of the Article 8, general principles and objectives of Article 7 and 8 of the TRIPS agreement. So what does it say? That while promoting and maintaining and enforcing intellectual property laws and also transfer of technology, and there should be balancing of rights between the rights owner and public interest. So why do you innovate? That's what other day I was speaking in a FICCI auditorium, IPSTC, IP conclave, that India has grown. My younger brother Digvijay was mentioning about India reaching 46th rank in Global Innovation Index in 2021 ranking. And 7 years back, we were 86 in 14-15. So we have improved. Patent filing improved. And a couple of days back, we saw that the first time in the history of IP office, the patent office in India, the Indian filings have overtaken foreign patent filings. And India is one of the top 10 AI patent filers, not only in India and abroad also. Why this happening? Because we are trying to solve the problem, the creativity and problem solving, which we envisage by introducing flexibilities. And my brother, Professor Uday, was talking about the compulsory license. It is one of the pillars, main pillars, where creativity, innovation, if it is not helping the public interest and the patent is not working, and then the medicines or technology is not affordable or not available to the Indian people. So simply you come to India through the Patent Cooperation Treaty, you file international application, you get a patent, and that is not working. What is the fun? That's what the main philosophy behind introducing this, as per the Article 31 of the TRIPS agreement, introducing compulsory license as a legal tool, which you have seen the best results when Nacto Pharma introduced the medicine of cancer medicine for 8,800 rupees. the next of our Bayer's medicine, which was almost 2,80,000 rupees for 60 tablets. Similarly, we said there should not be any evergreening. We encourage creativity, we encourage inventive step, provided all the basic test of patentable subject matter patent granting is satisfied as per the international minimum standards of the TRIPS Article 27, 28, 30, etc., which has been included in our laws. So we don't recognize evergreening. We have the best example of Gleevec medicine of the Novartis when we rejected and Supreme Court also supported. Another innovation we recognize, we don't recognize the data exclusivity. Everyone, even school kid, know about when India was introducing the COVID vaccine. Everyone talking about the clinical test data. Clinical test done, the animal clinical test, first phase on humans, second phase on humans, and then regulatory body is approving it. Again, the drugs and controller marketing approval giving. Various stages happening. This data, which millions of dollars invested on that data has to be given exclusive protection for extended period of patent. In the patent, the duration is 20 years, 5 years extra given. That's what US says. EU says 8 years, and Japan and China says 10 years. We said no. That is the wrong interpretation, TRIPS plus interpretation, which is not expressly written in the Article 39, Para 3 of the undisclosed information of the TRIPS agreement. We say simple, provide protection to data means no one unauthorizedly misappropriate the clinical test data. That's what. But someone innovates, that we did it because the introduction of both process and product patent became obligatory. Hitherto, before TRIPS, we had only process patent, because when Britishers introduced process and product patent, we discontinued after Tech-Chen committee and Angar committee recommendation, because we wanted innovation and creativity. What we wanted to promote our own local of pharma medicines. Why India today is a pharmacy of world? Because of that policy, our patent law recognize only process, because process can be different, which arrives of the product. So don't give patent to the product, give only process patent, so that biosimilar, bioequivalent, therapeutically efficient medicines and vaccines which are affordable, cheaper, can be produced in India. India became pharmacy of the world, not only gave patent vaccines like Covaxin and our own Atmanirbhar Covaxin, and our disruptive innovation, because all over the world, there are nucleic acid varieties of the vaccine. We have mRNA varieties like Pfizer mRNA vaccine and Moderna mRNA vaccine. We are the first country. Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi proudly announced on the platform of United Nations General Assembly session recently that India is the first country to produce, innovate, and create messenger DNA variety of the vaccine by our own generic pharma company from Gujarat, Jadis Cadila. And it doesn't need any injections, and only the oral medicine or nasal drops or oral drops, this can be administered. And recently we have seen that Covaxin is the best medicine, vaccine for the COVID, which can face any new kind of mutated variety of COVID virus, whether it is Delta variety as Omicron or Deltacron, which may be already emerged or other variety of the Omicron. And so everything, our innovation is taking care of. This kind of problem solving, we envisage our loss that whatever creativity, innovation happens, problem solving. Because whatever innovate you create, in a copyright point of view, it has to give me entertainments. Your painting should feel me happy. Your music should make me happy and jovial. Classical music. There have been studies that this innovative musics help us not only in meditation, guide us in a guided meditation process. There have been music therapy. Many diseases have been cured because of a kind of music helping us concentrating, removing our worries from our thoughts, so that patient can be cured in a faster manner. Similarly, innovative. So we did not recognize patent linkage. Granting of patent and giving marketing approval, we did not bind it together, because even Delhi High Court in Cipla versus, of course, Bayer versus Cipla in India clearly said the conjoining reading of the provisions of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act and the Patent Act provisions. You can't interpret and introduce a TRIPS plus element. That's what we help, that there should not be any patent linkage, so that our cheaper medicine can be introduced. And I'm talking about the COVID and lockdowns, and our friend Professor Sinha was talking about how this online internet facilities helped us imparting education through video conferencing. And we are meeting today sitting at our own respective places and participating because of the internet and video conferencing facilities. Even courts have functioned during the pandemic. Supreme Court has become a world leader in hearing cases through video conferencing during the pandemic, because of this innovation and creativity introduced by the 2007 vision document of the Supreme Court, in committee of the Supreme Court, and starting the E-Code Phase 1 project in 2011, and continuing it with the E-Code's Phase 2 project in 2015, which facilitated setting up of 18,735 video conference facilities in various courts in India. So this made, of course, Supreme Court a world leader. It heard more than 1.87 lakh cases during the pandemic. And of course, more than 60 lakh cases have been heard in various, of course, 25 high courts and then various benches. And then nearly 10 million cases were heard in the district and subordinate courts. It continued. And my brother Uday was talking about the public utility and public benefit, public interest. So what this department has done, MIT has started common service centers. There are about 75 common service centers. A couple of unemployed youth been given this job. They have a small kiosk or a shop where they have internet connectivity, Wi-Fi connectivity, with a laptop or desktop, sitting and helping people who come there to use that and also give them printouts. This has been recognized, managed by CSC Center of the MIT, Ministry of Information Technology. So the disruptive, creative, innovative idea, what our department has done, introduce a tele-law program. So there are paralegal volunteers. They go to villages, and then what problems they have. There may be land problems, property problems, domestic violence, divorce related, any problem related to them. So they have been brought to this CSE, and their panel of lawyers will help them either telephone call or video call, and their problem is addressed, their plaint is drafted, and file through pro bono basis. Again, and Nabandhu, another system started pro bono, and many universities have joined in the pro bono club, and even your South Bihar University can join in this pro bono club in this financial year. And then, during the pandemic, more than 20 lakh people, mostly women and the marginalized sections, have been given help all over India. And we recently organized a program where Honorable Minister Sri Kiran Reju and MOS Sri Professor Baghel sir gave away awards to the best performing paralegal volunteer, best performing CSE from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Arunachal Pradesh to Rajasthan and Gujarat. So this has been done. So this is the beauty of this innovation and creativity, and that is very, very important to continue this for the public good. And I always talk about simply filing patents applications and getting a patent granted, and then displaying it in your room or university center will not help in public interest. It has just like our Covaxin came to help to immunize us, the way the great inventors have invented, the way it has transformed our mobile telephone to now we don't need a television. You can download a Netflix app, you can register and pay a monthly fee and start watching your start streaming your favorite thing. During the pandemic times, few disruptions happened to creativity, and innovation has reached such a disruption. One of the beautiful things happening during this period is the metaverse, the meta. Even Facebook, you're all about that. Facebook changed its name from Facebook to Meta. So metaverse is a creative reality. It has become. It is a combination of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, gaming, cryptocurrency, social media, and much more. It is a mainstream innovation. Your metaverse avatars going to be created, and then along with this metaverse, one thing is emerging, that is Web 3.0. You all know that creativity and innovation through this Web 2.0 about 10 years back, if I'm correct, introduced Facebook, Twitter, other social medias like Instagram, YouTube video sharing and all that. All these things are centralized one. Twitter may ban your account. Instagram may stop you using from its account. So what happens in Web 3.0, the innovation thing is decentralization is going to happen. It means you are the king. You are the one who's creating your content. Okay, you are the generator of the content. You will own that content. You will create that content. And the main issue in the Web 2.0 that related to data privacy, the Facebook and data theft and illegally your private data giving it to even used by the US in the US presidential election. Even I don't want to name the political party, they use this against this present government during the elections in India as well. So these kind of data theft, personal data theft happening, and all over the world, especially you came with the GDPR laws and all that, and India also following the Puttaswamy judgment on the privacy of the Supreme Court. We appointed Justice Krishna Commission based on that recommendation. The data privacy bill, data protection bill has been introduced. All this happening because of the various data is being created. Data protection, data privacy, and applicability, transparency, explainability, all these are become, when this AI algorithm, the text data mining happening, everything has to be explained. When you go to the medical hospital, when your data is collected, if is used and sold to the private pharma sector, that is illegal. But here, the beauty of Web 3.0, it is going to solve this problem of privacy issues, because you own the data. So it is for you, to whether share your data or control your data. So there are more disruptions and more ease of, working on internet. So this is the disruptive things are happening. Similarly, there are disruptive innovation. Recently, India is focusing on that. Web industry 2.0 manufacturing, the machine-to-machine manufacturing. Soon you will be using your mobile app, controlling all your electronic equipment in your office or in your home, and that data is created, used for the marketing, whether how you are going to behave and all that. So, and another beauty happened during the pandemic is NFT art. You all aware of cryptocurrencies which are fungible, and non-fungible crypto tokens are NFTs, non-fungible tokens. NFTs are used for creation of art, creation of music, and everything. These are the derivative works where permission has to be taken before the monetization of those works. And again, copyright, IP, things are coming here, and all using the blockchain technology. So Web 3.0 will be using blockchain technology to introduce a decentralized internet for you, and blockchain are going to be used. Recently, Honorable Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, our finance minister, announced in the budget that India is going to introduce the cryptocurrencies, and since RBI is using the physical currency, only RBI has to use cryptocurrency. Again, here creativity, innovation to stop the terrorist funding or illegal markets operating cryptocurrency. So only the government body, that is the RBI, will be using, and how to stop illegal and liabilities here, again using the blockchain technology. So all kind of innovation and creativity happening for the public good. That is very, very important. And then one question comes. Another important thing about the world creativity innovation is innovation is there, which I'm talking about, creativity, innovation, and culture. We have been grown in certain conditions. India, we talk about the unity and diversity, cosmopolitan culture, but our cultural traditions, whether our Sanatan culture or other religious culture which are there in India, which is totally different from the European culture, the Southeast Asian culture, and the other African or South American culture. So this culture helps us and dominate us the way we are innovating and creating, and also promoting and managing our creativity, not only promoting our culture, but also for the economic activities. I also already spoke about the impact of pandemic on the creative industry, whether on the education or creating films, and many films have been released instead of in the multiplexes on the streaming platforms. This is something unique innovation happening during the pandemic times, and how this entire technology have been used. Again, artificial intelligence, algorithms, an algorithm being abstract ideas and mathematical formulas cannot be patentable or copyrightable unless and until similar to software, either they are making a technical device to function or improvising a device to their function is improvised, then only patent is granted. That's why India is the top 10 AI patent granting countries. But this no, we can't give a patent machine itself because it's not a natural person, and similarly copyrights can be given to that. So what kind of management has to be introduced? Again, it's going to be another thing. So creativity, culture, and development has to happen for the growth of the country and for the growth of employment generation, for contribution of creativity and innovation to the betterment of society. And then most interesting thing happening during the recent times, that is UNESCO venturing in the most important area which your agenda mentioned about Razali art. So you know that UNESCO launched Razali art, a global movement. So various cultural professionals worldwide join this. So what is the main objective is during the COVID pandemic times, so continuation of exchange of this creativity and in various cultures, so provide a platform. So Razali art aims to ensure the continuity of conversations, data sharing, advocacy efforts, because the very celebration by UN, the World Creativity Innovation Day, is nothing but a kind of advocacy of all these efforts by the creative minds and innovative minds, and how these creativity innovation not only solving the problem, protecting and promoting the cultural activities, and promoting the copyright creative industries like music, art, painting, film producing, software, book publishing. Now the book publishing, not only the physical, the various soft copy, it has moved. So this platform provides universal regional recommendations, including establishment of a permanent participatory consultative platform and mechanisms. So this pandemic is not, it may end in phases, it may come back in phases as we experience various diseases coming and going. So my understanding after experiencing in 2 years that it may not be widespread waves, there may be, but a small pocket may be experiencing this problem. This may continue still. There is a global immunity is increase, and these are the important aspects which have been points have been mentioned for the discussion in this colloquium. I would like to congratulate again Professor S.P. Ji and Digvijay Singh Ji and Venkatesh Ji, and of course the Innovation Council of University of South Bihar selecting this day and including these various topics. I can go on talking hours together, but there should be an end to this talk. And thanks again, all of you, for giving me this opportunity. Jai Hind and all the best.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful deliberation. You have brought to our notice the multiple facets of creativity and innovation. Creativity and innovations are not limited to only a few aspects of life. They have become a kind of omnipotence in our life. And in this backdrop, you have rightly focused on this local for vocal and issues of intellectual property law related to creativity and innovation. We know that you have been instrumental in some international development with respect to this Beijing Treaty and Marrakesh Treaty, where you represented the concern of government of India, and the treaty recently concluded at the WIPO. Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful deliberation, and we will be looking for your deliberation in future as well, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, moving forward, now I request Professor Brijesh Kumar, Dean, School of Management, and also in charge Finance Officer of Central University of South Bihar, to propose the concluding remark in this colloquium. He is a man of economic background, and definitely he will be presenting the economic perspective of this creativity and innovation. Now, I most humbly invite Professor Brijesh Kumar, sir. Over to you, sir. Sir.
Brijesh sir.
Yes. So first of all, I want to thank Department of Law and all the faculty members, and especially Professor Sanjay Prakash Srivastava ji, to invite me to be part of this program, and which is very pertinent and very timely, and a core question that every developing economy and their political heads are thinking seriously, because this is the thing that is differentiating the divide between the developed and underdeveloped. So it is a very timely topic, and that's why government is very serious about it, and our university and the Department of Law has taken this initiative. So I want to thank to organize such program. I could see Professor Venkatesh Singh and Professor Raghavendra Ramarao, and your deliberation was very excellent one, sir, and you have touched upon various dimensions of innovation and creativity and its relevance from the perspective of legal support to that endeavor. So that I appreciated a lot. Apart from this, I would like to share, because I am invited to present the concluding remarks, where I have to actually accommodate all the diverse views expressed on this occasion. So, yes, we all are coming to the common ground that creativity, innovation and invention and innovation are need of the hour, because it has shown its potential to make the human life more secure and efficient one and wealthier one. And that's why those who have taken lead in this area have shown their resilience to all the challenges, whether it is environmental or political or social or whatever. And they have created a lot of wealth for their nation and their citizens. And they have made the life there more comfortable, wealthier and secured one. So now, very late, we all have understood that the real story behind their success is the culture of creativity, innovation and invention, led by inventions or discoveries in the field of natural science, biological science, natural science, physical sciences, and social sciences as well. So they are leaders in innovation, and that's why they are leaders in other sphere of life, including economic. So this is a simple lesson of the journey of creativity and innovation culture. Now we have to think seriously about how this culture, the ecosystem, etc., can be created for our nation also. Question is actually very fundamental, but diagnosis of the having innovative culture, creativity culture or not, and why somewhere it is more, why somewhere it is less, I think to the extent I have read that it is not a settled question, and still world is finding the sole causes or root causes of innovative culture and how we can adopt it in our culture also. I would like to share my analogy with the creator, which is the greatest creator, that is God. And if you compare, this world is created by a great creator, we all know, and you see how creative it is there and what lesson we can learn from there. So this is one another dimension we should explore, and you see the nature, which is very, very innovative and creative, and we are just astonished to see the creative power of the God. What we can learn, that is the point. One lesson that we can learn is that creation comes out of aspirations. It is said in our mythology that God once think that I should be, I am one, I should be many. Eko aham bahushyami. That was the mythological facts that we all learned. But he has no personal, because God is called Purnakam entity. No desire left because he is full. So definitely he has done it for the welfare of the innumerable spirits. But when you see the creation made by the God, it is combination of evolutionary flavor as well as revolutionary. So you see in the nature over the billions year of history of this universe, you see there are evolutionary development of the nature from single cell to a complex human beings. This is evolutionary creativity of the nature. And sometimes mutation is seen and something else, something unique is created. Suddenly, no any explanation to that. Suddenly mutation is done and new things created. That is called revolutionary creation. Definitely we should accept that innovation or creativity is evolutionary and revolutionary, but both the things will emerge when there is a aspiration for creative thinking, creative acts, freedom to experiment, then opportunity and freedom to apply the mind and its power, reasoning power, to be creative, trying to see things from different perspective, make a trial and error, make mistakes, and gain some knowledge out of that. And every failure gives some experience that diminish the flaws of the previous act, and we have a better knowledge how to conduct the same thing in a better way. That betterment brings innovation, invention, and so forth. But the nature is ruled by its own laws. And there is a very, very competitive forces working together for creation. But in human life, in our society, if we want to have these things, we need a supportive system. That's why such programs are promoted by the government, which is seeking that let us start thinking in this direction. Once we start thinking, we will be aware of and doing something in this direction. and people will develop some culture of creative thinking. Brainstorming session can be organized, and people are given opportunities and freedom to think differently. But the most important thing is, if you see the history of innovation and creativity and achievement of innovation and invention in this world, commercialization of innovations, etc., you will find that the most important underlying factor was that every new invention and innovation give the inventor an opportunity to create wealth, success, name and fame. Whole Western history of innovation, creativity and invention has corresponding commercial application, commercialization of that, and ultimately they created wealth, and out of that the creator has given protection and rights to share a major part of that innovation. This part we are lacking. We are lacking two things in India. We have a education system which is pattern based. So less scope for free thinking, innovative thinking, creative way of looking at the problem. So problem based, creation based, or creativity promoting culture of teaching and learning. We are lacking on that. We should work on that. And apart from that, we have to create an ecosystem, infrastructure, because nowadays real innovation, real creativity, real inventions are now confined to the laboratories. So let physical sciences and natural sciences, there should be ecosystem and infrastructure should be developed so that invention, creation can be tried in the laboratories. But we have social sciences also and other field of knowledge also. Innovation is not confined to science only. It is a field where we try to find new ways which are more efficient, more effective, more beneficial to the masses. So every field of our life needs a culture of creativity and innovation so that we can find a better ways and more efficient ways of leading our life. But this can only be possible if we promote creative thinking, promote the support system, create ecosystem to support this culture. And moreover, we should give the maximum protection for those who can create and innovate, and they should enjoy the maximum fruit of that, maximum share of that wealth creation. Unless this incentive is available to the society, which is not in our, we have so many bright minds, so many new ideas are proposed, but no one is there to promote it and give the confidence to the society and the participants would be potential innovators that whatever you will create and whatever advancement you will make, a due share of that success will be recognized and rewarded to you with full protection. Such thing, this actually, in my view, will make a right incentive environment which is incentivizing the such creative efforts. So such kind of rather before innovation, we should think about the how to bring this culture in a more innovative way. So innovation is everywhere, in every way of life, in every aspect of life. So it should not be confined to only science or social science or engineering. Innovation is in daily life. Our mind should be free, our mind should be creative, our mind should be recognized for our creative power. Such recognition and incentives can only bring this culture. This is my submission. And again, I thank the organizers, especially Professor Venkatesh Singh, Professor Sanjay Prakash Srivastava, to call me to be part of this program as a to present concluding remarks. Actually, it is a very challenging task, but I don't know why and how Professor Sanjay Prakash Srivastava ji have so much of confidence on me. And I try my best to present my original ideas, not only bookish ideas, because what I feel I share. So we actually need in India, if we want to bring India a hub of innovators and creators, actually we are, Indians are known for their hypothetical thinkings. But it should be translated into practical innovations also. This gap needs to be fulfilled. That is the real challenge, and such programs will motivate people to have some serious thought on this, that how to fulfill this gap. We are abstract thinkers, well known. Indians are always thought all over the world the best abstract thinkers, but this abstract thinker should become innovators also through a culture of creativity and ecosystem of such creativity. We are trying in this direction, and such programs are a little step forward in this direction. Thank you very much to organizers and all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful concluding remarks. You have rightly pointed out that we lack this innovation culture, creativity culture. It is simply argued that the India is not having such culture, and sometimes we are not focusing on the rights of the people who are creating, innovating in that culture. That is a kind of argument is there, and we simply refer the catapult culture of European country. That is the best creativity culture known in the world for the promotion of creativity and innovation. You have rightly pointed out, sir, and I'm very much thankful to you, sir, for your insightful concluding remarks. And now I invite Professor Sanjay Prakash Srivastava, Dean, School of Law and Governance, for proposing formal vote of thanks. But before that, I must say that it was his idea to celebrate this day and organize such a program. I can say that that is an example of creativity, that the creative mind is there, which led towards the organization of this colloquium on this creativity, innovation, and collaboration. With my humble request, I invite Professor Sanjay Prakash Srivastava for a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, let me begin with this statement. What is creativity for me? I always been reminded by this statement by C.C. Ravi Shankar ji, that to look the things from a different perspective. You don't need to be focused. A courage to do the things in a different manner, an idea to look the things in a different way, and implementing the things in a different way. That makes a person different from the others. Ladies and gentlemen, and the esteemed dignitaries, first of all, let me give you a warm greetings for this Creativity and Innovation Day, because that is the first thing which I suppose should be started from where this today colloquium should have started. A warm greeting to everybody who is here to celebrate and observe the World Creativity and Innovation Day. Honorable Sri G.R. Raghavendra ji, Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha ji, Professor Uday Shankar, the leader of our team, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Kameswar Nath Singh ji, Professor Venkatesh Singh, IQAC coordinator, their colleagues and participants. Though the time was very limited, we tried to conclude and talk so many things, but perhaps many things have not been touched. It is only an initiation of process. We have to do many things. We have to march and touch upon many things. Only igniting the mind perhaps will be sufficient to take you to new direction. With this, let me first begin to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed guest, by thanking them for their excellent thought-provoking talks, whose presentation has enabled us to understand the basic as well as complex aspect related with the creativity and innovation. On this day, I would like to recall and remember the statement given by our Honorable Prime Minister, Aapda Mein Avsar. During COVID-19 pandemic, we have witnessed how the initiation taken by the scientists and the doctors have saved the millions' life. Dear friend, it is not at all an issue to be thankful to the scientist and the creator, but it is an important issue for all of us to think in a different manner, to remember the call given by the UN that to celebrate and create advocacy among all the person with regard to the creativity and innovation. Here, first of all, let me express a sincere gratitude and respect to our respectable guest, Dr. G.R. Raghavendraji. Sir, I propose a hearty vote of thanks to you. You are the person who has given us updates for the policy initiative of the government and to what has been done. I perhaps recall by your post that the number of the IPR file, patent file in this year is the highest over and above the world. Sir, you have rightly pointed out that the creativity have capacity to solve problem, generate employment, and promote economy. You have beautifully explained the different terms used in today's colloquium. Perhaps your deliberation has covered almost each and every aspect. Sir, we are very grateful for this deliberation. You have touched multiple dimensions. For that, I think that it is possible for you. You are the right person because who is working in this area, who understand the things, who is directly connected with all the aspect of the policy as well as the execution. Sir, we are very grateful to you. We are thankful to you that you have, despite your busy schedule, shared dais with us and given your valuable thought with respect to the topic and made each participant clear about the issue involved and what initiative needs to be taken. For that, on behalf of Central University family, I'm extending once again a hearty vote of thanks to you, sir. Our next speaker, Professor Uday Sankar. Sir, it is time to express gratitude. Why and how the thing should be. As a student of copyright, I've been taught of one thing, idea expression dichotomy. By listening your lecture, I can understand. I have read Constitution. I was a student of environment law, but how the thing should be presented, how the thing should be looked at. That innovation, that creativity, that expression of your thought in today's lecture is sufficient for every student to take away that how and why a teacher gave a more mark to the other student and less marks to the student like me. The manner in which you have presented the things, that is reflection of a creativity and giving a new dimension to the things and presenting before the most of the faculty who are present here from the science that even the law department of law and the law teachers looks the things and judgment is delivered from the perspective of science and technology and the role which the science and technology can play. Sir, the manner in which you have articulated the things, we are very grateful to you. We extend a hearty vote of thanks to you, sir. Now, it is time to express a sincere gratitude to our third speaker and this esteemed guest of today, Professor M.K. Sinha, Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha, who talked about the pandemic and the construction industry. Very beautifully, he has narrated that during the pandemic, how the alternative mode has solved the people with regard to problem of food, with regard to the online consultation, online education. We have prepared ourselves, sir, to deal with the multiple problem. It solves the initiative of innovation have solved the marginalized section. We are very grateful to you, sir. It is an honor for us to listen you. We are thankful for your valuable ideas and the deliberation of today. Sir, would like to listen you in person. Now it is time to recall and be grateful to the leader of this team. See, leader is not that person who only tells us what is the problem. I'm very grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who not only tells us what needs to be done, also provide input to us that these things needs to be done in this manner. And under his able guidance, we are in a position to conduct almost in every month 2-3 activities in the government university, where 4-5 years back it was difficult to thought about the 2-3 programs and conducting any program here. Almost in every month we are conducting 2-3 programs. We are touching and trying to implement the policy initiative of the government of India, whether it is about the Atal innovation, whether it is about the pro bono, as the Professor Dr. Raghavendra has mentioned. We have started club, sir, here in the Central University of South Bihar. On 9th of May, we are going to inaugurate formally the pro bono club here. So we have conducted and implemented almost all the policy initiative taken by the government of India. It is because of the able guidance of our Honorable Vice Chancellor. We are very thankful to you, sir. Last but not the least, the person who is the instrumental behind this, the person who is the leading IQAC coordinator and the Innovation Council President, Professor Venkatesh Singh. The man, whenever you talk to him that, sir, I want to do this, he never says that there is any difficulty. Go ahead. Acha hai, boss. Most of the time, many of the people have a difficulty working with the people. And here there is a person who always present and he said, move ahead. Sir, I'm very grateful that you have accepted my idea. This is only an initiative. Perhaps many more activities we are supposed to conduct under the Innovation Council. Thank you, sir. Again, the next person in this line is our finance officer, Dean of Management Sciences, Professor Brijesh Kumar. He asked me why I trust more. The answer is explicit, sir. It is not implicit. Many times I have asked him and I have given him only 2-3 hours that you have to preside the session. A man of Commerce Department, a man of Finance, talks about the RERA, talks about the labor, talks about the unorganized sector. And he speaks on the same line which Sri Ravi Shankar says, you need to think differently, you need to act differently. That is why I trust you, sir. And I'm grateful that you have accepted, you are our savior. Whenever we need, you serve us, you provide your input, sir. Thank you. Before I conclude this today colloquium, I'd give my regards and appreciation to all the people who made this occasion a reality and this event successful. This could not have been possible without the sheer contribution of you all. We all are a part of this CUSB family. Due to our shared passion for the vision of the institution, our passion unites us and our hard work strengthens the Central University of South Bihar. It is important to conclude these things by acknowledging the contribution of Professor Prafulla Singh and Dr. Digvijay Singh and all the colleagues that who have whatever idea have given, they have implemented. I'm the person as a link only. I talk to the 3 speakers. Rest of the things have been done by Dr. Digvijay Singh and his team. For that, we are grateful to the team member. Once again, thank you, and I extend a hearty vote of thanks to all the participants and the dear esteemed guests that you have given your valuable times despite your busy schedule. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all of you. Now, yes, Alok Singh, want to say something? Okay, that is the benefit of having this technologies, innovative and creative technologies, that we started the program in time and we concluded the program in time. Thank you very much to all of you for the successful organization of this program. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you, Raghavan sir. Thank you, Professor Uday Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You may kindly leave the meeting. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Venkatesh sir. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.